Thank you so much for this award. I am truly honored that my peers would even look at me in this light of leadership. I think I'm the youngest one on the board. So being the youngest one, I was always fearful that it would be difficult for me to lead. But there's so many different ways to lead that I learned about myself, that leadership's not always the loudest voice or the loudest one in the room, but you can lead by example and lead by unity and unity of the board. So this past year as the president of the Chamber of Commerce had its challenges, but it was also very enjoyable. Starting my term out with the membership appreciation luncheon, night golf, which is one of my favorite events that we do jointly with the West Suburban Chamber, the 4th of July parade, and the Christmas luncheon. And these were all fantastic memories, especially the Christmas luncheon. It's such a wonderful event because the meeting after the Christmas luncheon is so much fun, especially for me, because we get to decide how much money we give away. Those 3 checks that we gave tonight, as well as the Shop with a Cop check that we've given the last few years, you see what an impact they make on the communities and the people's lives in those communities. They might seem like a small check, but those stories that we just heard were very, very moving and very emotional. All those events that were listed previously were designed to help businesses meet new people, expand their operations, and at the same time have some fun. The challenges that presented themselves this year helped me grow as a person, as a leader, as I mentioned earlier. And I would like to give a special thanks to the Chamber of Commerce Board for all their hard work and effort this year, putting up with me as the president and taking everything in stride. Taking time away from your families and your businesses to better the community of Westchester is very admirable. Tonight at Celebrate Westchester, I am passing the torch, or the gavel, to Maria, who has and will continue to serve our community wonderfully. It was an honor to work with all of you, and I look forward to many more years helping others to experience the excellence that is Westchester. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Now I'm going to ask Maria to stay up here with me because we have, if you notice, there's a couple of bags up here. And these are kind of, one of them in particular is kind of an interesting award. And I'd like to call up retired Chief Steve Stelter.
There you go.
I don't know how many of you saw this, but one of the hot topics in general in the country today is school safety. And as we all know, there have been several, unfortunately, tragic events that have occurred across the nation involving schools. And I thought I think it was 2 Sundays ago, I saw about one that was local in the Tribune that involved a young person where there were 3 children that were injured in a school safety incident. And one of the individuals that we have here in our community is a school resource officer. And I asked Steve to tell me a little about this position because frankly, I mean, it's obvious we knew roughly what it was, but we didn't know specifically. I didn't know specifically what this particular position entailed. And he sent me 2 pages of information on what a person in this position does, what they are responsible for. I'm not going to read it all, but just some of the highlights involving developing a school safety plan, internal dispute mediation, detention and arrests, obviously where there are difficulties that occur in the school, law enforcement education, which involves school resource officers may give assembly presentations on subjects including school safety, dangers of drug abuse, bullying, online, etc. Crisis intervention training. This is all done by a School Resource Officer. As I went over these, there were two things that left out. And one of them was mentorship, okay? And the other was mentoring into the other was being a liaison to the entire district, from the student to the teacher and also to the community. So with that in mind, the Chamber of Commerce would like to award a Community Service Award to School Resource Officer Robert Verber.
I was reading over my glasses there. Westchester Chamber of Commerce Community Service Award presented to Officer Robert Verber for your enduring commitment. I better have those. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, no problem.
I'm sorry. Westchester Chamber of Commerce Community Service Award presented to WPD Officer Robert Verber for your enduring commitment as liaison and positive role model to the children, parents, and educators of our community. Dated January 25th, 2020. Congratulations. And for those of you who don't know Rob or have never had an experience of meeting Rob, I know a lot of people have in the community. In my time here, the 4 years that I spent at Westchester, Rob is absolutely one of the most educated, one of the most passionate school resource officers you're going to meet. He spends countless hours of his own time at the station after hours, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, whether he's doing the Facebook page, whether he's doing his duties as a school resource officer, and all the other duties he does. When I do Shop with a Cop every year, Rob is my main man. He takes it and he runs with it. Yeah. I've talked to police officers throughout the state in my duties with Special Olympics. They steal from Rob's Facebook posts and put out to their own because he is so good. They compliment him on a regular basis on the kind of job that he does. Rob has been here over 30 years servicing the village of Westchester and the police department. And I want to thank the two deputy chiefs here, Mike O'Hagan and Mark Borkovic, for being here as well to support him. Greg Rebo here. We've got our village president, Paul Nosek. We've got trustee Krako back there. We got village manager, Paul Nosek. We got our public works director, Scotty Russell, our fire chief, Jim Adams. And I want to thank Rob from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to miss you a lot. I'm not there anymore, but you do a phenomenal job, Rob, and I say thank you.
Thank you first off. It truly does take a village to raise a child. That idiom is true today just as well as it has the last several hundred years. Please understand, this is a collaborative effort between everyone on the Westchester Police Department. I particularly like to thank not only Steve Stelter and the police department, but our school partners, both our public and our private school partners. Many of our public school partners from 92.5 are here tonight. If it wasn't for them, the police department, and our village board to allow me the opportunity to work with not only the children within our community, but also with our residents, both our seniors as an elderly service officer, but also as a street police officer. The last 7 years I have spent in the schools, and this truly is this is very humbling. This is extremely humbling this evening. Once again, I'd like to thank Steve and as well as our school partners and the entire school board and also our chamber. Thank you.